What's up, guys? Mr. Nose Hoops back today with another video. Today we are on episode 2, and I want to shout out my man Mike, I believe, in the comment section of the last video. He gave a really good name, Historical Hoops. Welcome to episode 2 of Historical Hoops, where we look back at certain series, especially more so in the 2000s, and we look back on historic players and a series that could really have helped define them, or a run that we will never forget. So today we are talking about Carmelo Anthony. This is in his 2008-2009 playoff run, where he ultimately fell short against the, I believe, then going to be back-to-back champion LA Lakers. But in this video, we are discussing his second round series against the Dallas Mavericks, where they won in 5 games, where Carmelo averaged 37-3 on 49 from the field, 44 from 3 on 5 a game. So that's elite, especially if you consider for the time period. And then 85 from the line. Again, and he gave you 2 steals a game. What Melo was doing for this team, it was remarkable. I'm not gonna lie. Watching the film of Melo now, for me growing up, Melo was already sort of in New York / like towards the end of his career anyways. And at that point, right, you get OKC Melo, Portland Melo, Laker for like a year Melo. Those aren't the Melo that, especially, you know, a lot of the old heads love to talk about. So today, we're going to get right into it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We have hit 800 subs. I want to thank you all so much for your love and support. We're going to hit 900. We're going to hit 1K. And that's only possible with your help. So let's get right into it. And the first thing I want to talk about, honestly, is Melo the passer / playmaker. Now, I don't think he's an incredible passer playmaker. It's for sure his biggest weakness as an offensive player. But some of these plays I noticed immediately off the rip, you could see he actually has the passing IQ. It's just guys missed, right? So boom, right, gets the screen. Now time's running out, right? Just chipping down time. Melo gets the man over to help. Perfect pass. That is a perfect play, perfect pass, fall short. Now, that is something that's important to remember, right? And that's why sometimes assists on a stat sheet should not be our main determiner for a good or bad playmaker. Now, obviously, the great playmakers is going to show up on a stat sheet as well. And I'm not even saying, again, that Melo's an incredible all-time passer playmaker. But when you have moments like this, now, I would have to do even deeper research into it. But when you have a lot of moments like that, even within the one game that I watched, it then makes me wonder, man, was Melo actually better than we remember? It's just that guys weren't converting, which is fine. But again, it's by far his weakest part of his offensive game, at least. And that's not even close. And again, all right, now you get the man to come over. Melo's operating in his little area, drives through, right? Tough pass, right? Not now, again, moments like that prove why he's still got a long way to go. That's a dumb read, right? In terms of trying to get it off. But then you have moments like that, drives baseline. Dirk comes over to commit, right over the man, wide open midi, boink. Moments like this go for me to exemplify just how good Melo actually was as a passer or playmaker, which we didn't necessarily get to see before. And at that point, right, even in the transition game, Melo was actually a lot better than I remember, right? So Chauncey passes it up, and this is a beautiful touch pass right over to Nene. And again, it's just perfect plays, right? Now, again, in this series especially, Melo was just on a different level. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this dude, he finally it tapped in. It all kind of had worked out. Beautiful pass to Chauncey off, basically low-key a floppy, as if it's 2K. If you know, you know. And again, Melo's making the reads when you need him to, which I think is all you really want from your star guy. Again, touch pass. Guy fully commits over because it's Carmelo. Easy dunk for Nene. Moments like that to convert to easy buckets are always going to be more valuable than just about anything. So now that we looked back at what Melo the playmaker / passer was actually like in this 09 series, at the age of 24, Now we can talk about his defensive game. So in this clip here, first of all, I actually kind of really appreciate this camera angle. Random note, but as someone that tries to watch film and defense sometimes, it feels easier, right? This is just perfect hands by Carmelo, right? Man comes up, goes to his left, perfect read, using his length and advantage, goes to drive, right? Easy bucket. And even like watching Melo screen navigate at times, right? Like takes the bump, slips over, still gets right on to Dirk, not letting him get too comfy, right? Dirk keeps coming over, and Melo instinctively, because he understands that this is how Dirk likes to get to his spot for his classic fade, just look, boom, boom, swipe. That's, again, perfect read by Carmelo, great pass in transition, right? Miss here, 2-point game, right? And this is in clutch time, so Melo's got to really, step it up, get it going, slows the game down, kicks it out to Kid, goes back to Dirk, right? Now Dirk is right here. And again, Melo's waiting, swipes again. And Dirk just off of the interference by Melo, which should be right around here, right? Goes for the pump, misses, swipes down, as you see, right? Melo swipes down, gets the ball out of Dirk's hands, makes everything uncomfortable. And again, that's in the clutch. That is when you need it the most. Now, again, I'm not trying to say Melo was an incredible defender, but I think moments like this make you realize how I think in some ways he's underappreciated, right? Slips over the screen. And again, actually does a really good job here, because I know what you're thinking, but Emster, he's not the one that causes a steal. In some ways, you are correct. However, his positioning over Dirk, if we look, right, goes over and cuts off any possibility of a roll in which Carmelo can't stay in front or ahead of him. So then he gets the ball and again can start looking to push. And that is how you do everything right as a, defender, if you're a Carmelo Anthony, where your defense is sort of understated at times. And again, that's what I think makes this historical hoop series so fun, is that I get to also go back and instead of just taking the words of people who had watched during the time or highlights or whatever, when you can actually sit down and watch a game, you start to kind of see some of the things that people are talking about, right? Like Melo's footwork we're about to get into his scoring here in a minute. That footwork is still just as immaculate as everyone says it is. Like that tenfold lives up to the hype. Not even a doubt in my mind. But man, when you hear Melo, and I think a big part of it is too, New York Melo is like, I feel like it overshadows everything else that was Melo. Now that's coming from someone that grew up in the state of New York. So 2011, 2012, Melo was basically the biggest basketball player on the planet. And it wasn't close, at least in the state of New York. Like you would think Melo was the dude in the league, maybe minus LeBron and KD. Like the way that people would talk about Melo, you would think he was number one in the world. And I think the image of Melo is so dominated by New York, and because he doesn't really have a whole lot of success in New York, compared to obviously this being, I believe, his longest run in any year. Yes, his longest run in any part of his career. I mean, I think it's important to remember just what Melo could have done if he was in some different situations. And part of it's on him, for sure. Right? Like he had the choices to not re-sign the deal he did with Denver and then to go to the Heat with LeBron, with D-Wade. And they probably would have at least won one chip. So at that point, right, Melo has a chip and it looks so different. But it's kind of hard pressed for me to really give a lot of... It's weird. Melo's a weird player, but I think, again, the bigger point is Historical Hoops is the show. There's a lot more to a player than just the simplified version. Like, yes, he's an incredible scorer. We're about to get into that. But he was still a solid passer playmaker. And his defense, again, I understand in New York it got a little bit and got worse, but he seemed like at times when he wanted to or needed to lock in, he would. Which is something that, at least growing up and hearing people talk about him now, you would have never thought. But let's get into just... I mean, this dude, Melo, would get into his spot, and it was lights out. I'm going to be honest. Nothing the man can do. Like, gets the man on his right side. Dirk tries to draw the charge, swipes down. Melo just perfectly controls his body, waits, easy finger roll to the basket, right? And then this is just classic Melo we're about to see. Gets his man in the mid post. Goes, hold on, watch out. That left foot did so much alone, right? Jabs out. I believe that's, is that? No, it's not Berea. But he catches his man. Look at his left foot, right? His right foot. Melo's right foot. Defender's left foot. Goes all the way back as if he's committing to Melo going there. And Melo just goes, nah, I'm good. And just gets the easy midi. Like, it's just the way that he creates space. And it's weird because it's not through sheer like force or speed. It's just through footwork and manipulating how people think as a defender. Right? Again, Melo's in his spot. Dirk's even hedging over the idea of a double. J-Kid too, right? Comes over, swipes down, and shout out to my thumbnail guy Josh for this incredible play. Guys, this is how you know Melo was on one, right? This was the only reason I put this clip in here. Right? He actually does a good job of getting the release so it can line up. Like, that's disgusting. Like, I understand, like, as a scorer, this guy is better than Melo or whatever you want to say, but that was a Luka-esque moment. That was disgusting. That had zero business looking even remotely good of a shot, let alone going in, right? That's incredible basketball at the end of the day. Is it a good shot? Not necessarily, but when you're a superstar or a star like Melo was at this point, hey, bro, his shot, his good shot is a whole lot different, and his bad shot is a whole lot different than everyone else, right? Gets the man on him again, and I love this stop on a dime, right? Rolls the man over. So at this point, Kid's out of the way, immediately fights over the pick, but has to rush back, right? He can't stick to it. I believe that's actually, no, that's not Vince Carter. I'm about to say something crazy. And then, boom, beautiful stop right here, right? Because at this point, again, he gets that man's right foot back. So again, create space for himself. That's an easy bucket. That is literally too easy. You literally could not ask for an easier way to score. And this is another one. This was my last, like, yeah, guys, you need to know this series is underrated by Carmelo. Just watch. I'm not going to say anything. It's just so casual. It's so simple, right? And it's so quick. That's impossible to not say that this dude was having the series of his life. I'm not even gonna lie. It's undeniable. It's arguably one of Melo's best series of his entire career. And as someone, again, who didn't really grow up with the best Melo, right? Like out of prime, out of peak Melo, man, this was actually a lot of fun. Again, like, historical hoops is meant to be something that's fun, nostalgic, something that we can all talk about. And I want your guys' insight. So as always, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. Again, I can do from like the mid 2000s, like 2005, I think is the earliest, up until even this year. That's my range of availability, other than, I guess, like the 90s finals that are on the NBA.com. But that's gonna be a whole lot different because I would have to like record the film perfectly or whatever. But let me know what you guys think down below. I hope you enjoyed episode 2 of Historical Hoops. Let me know what you want to see for episode 3. As always, this was Amsterdam Hoops. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Have a beautiful rest of your day, guys. Peace out.